from the Heart.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Horror from the Heart. My name is Josh, and today I want to talk about haunted places. Now, that's one of the big inspirations that are out there for a lot of horror movies, a lot of literature that's out there, comic books, video games, all that kind of stuff. There's tons of stuff out there that is centralized around haunted places. You know, and of course that deals with poltergeists and ghosts and things like that. But places just in general, like here in America, we have tons of places, and I mean tons of places that are reportedly haunted by ghosts and things like that. And I know there's tons of places overseas, over in Europe, and probably, you know, pretty much any country that's out there and everything like that. But I kind of want to centralize on some of the stuff that we have here in America and here in Texas, actually, which is actually quite a bit. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure each and every single one of us knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that has either visited a haunted place or seen, you know, hauntings at places. Like, I've seen a ghost at such and such wherever, or have been to some of these supposedly haunted places. Now, there's tons of ones that even, like, you know, ghost hunter shows and stuff like that have been to. One of the examples out there would be like the Waverly Hills Sanatorium over in Kentucky. Now, I did pull up some of the article type stuff just to kind of give you guys a little bit more detail with some of the things that I have found, just in case you don't know about some of these places. So, like, Waverly Hills is kind of like one of those ones where it was pretty much a hospital for tuberculosis patients and stuff like that. And over there it says there was roughly about 152 deaths in 1945, and you had plenty of people that, you know, reportedly say that it was haunted, and that they had like a death tunnel or a body chute type of thing where they would actually travel bodies down. But tons of people have been out there to go investigate this kind of stuff and have seen many apparitions, whether, you know, they don't actually like interact with people. You know, a lot of times whenever we talk about haunted places, you usually don't see people, you know, these ghosts interacting, coming up, shaking people's hands, or even kind of like moving stuff around. But occasionally you do get stuff like that where it's like, went to such and such place and got scratched. And with this place, they talk about like room 502, you know, and they said where it says 2 nurses are said to have been, you know, they killed themselves. One hung themselves and the other jumped to her death. And people say that they also see like other like mysterious shapes and stuff like that moving throughout that area and everything like that. So it's like, I always thought was kind of interesting. There's so much history to like the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and I'll end up like linking some of those articles. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll have like links to those little articles and stuff like that that I found in the description stuff. But then there's other places out there like Gettysburg. Everybody, you know, who at least lives here in the United States has probably heard about like Gettysburg and the massive battle that happened over there. And there's tons and tons of stories about people who hear cannon fire or gunshots or see Confederate soldiers or Union soldiers going around throughout the whole entire place. And just like never really, again, it's like not the interaction, more like that recording type of haunting, where it's just going through the motions and stuff like that. But there's tons of reported sightings for that. Then you go someplace all the way out to like California, and they have like the Whaley House. And I don't know if a lot of people know about that one. There's tons of stuff like that out there in California as well. But the Whaley House. So I'll kind of read this little article that I have found just a little bit, just to kind of give you an idea of what this was. So it says the Whaley House in San Diego is the most haunted house in America, according to Life magazine. The home was built in 1857 on the site of a former graveyard and gallows. Over the years, it has served as a family house, a grain store, the San Diego County Courthouse, the city's first commercial theater, a ballroom, a billiard hall, and a school. And it subsequently opened as a museum in 1960. Now, it says that the oldest resident ghost at the Whaley house is said to be a convicted robber named Yankee Jim Robinson, who was hanged in 1852 from the gallows that stood on the property before the house was built. And this according to a news report. Also, the wagon holding him beneath the gallows moved away. Yankee Jim dragged his feet on the wagon for as long as possible before swinging like a pendulum and slowly strangling to death. Although Thomas Whaley, a settler and merchant, witnessed Yankee Jim's gruesome execution, excuse me, can't really talk today, it said that didn't prevent him from purchasing the property a few years later and building a house there. But within a few weeks of moving in, the Whaley family reported hearing heavy footsteps as if made by boots of a large man. The reports of the footsteps and other sounds have persisted for more than 100 years. The youngest daughter of the family, who lived in the house until 1953, was reportedly convinced that it was haunted by the ghost of Yankee Jim, and visitors of the museum in the 1960s also reported hearing a phantom walking noise. Other visitors say they've seen the ghost of the Whaley family themselves and the ghost of a woman in a long skirt in the former county courtroom. One parapsychologist reported that he saw a phantom dog running inside the house, similar to a fox terrier, the type of dog owned by the Whaley family. Now, that's like quite a few different little haunting stuff that they have just for that. So I don't know how that would constitute as being the most haunted, but still, at the same time, you have plenty of people that see this kind of stuff all over the place. I mean, but there's, again, tons of places out there, anywhere from Illinois to California to Texas to New York, all over the place. And I always found it kind of interesting because, like me, myself, I would say I've never actually had the opportunity to be able to really go visit any of these places. I mean, like, even living here in Texas and knowing how many places there are, I've never gotten the chance to really go do like investigation type of stuff, like doing your own kind of ghost hunt. I've done like the ghost hunt type of thing, but never really visited any known places of actually being haunted. And being so close, I don't even know why I never got to do that. I guess it's one of those ones where it's just like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So I definitely need to get my butt up and kind of go do that kind of stuff. But I want to kind of lead into some of the Texas branded stuff, simply because, hey, I'm a Texas resident. So, to start off with some of this stuff that we have over here, we're going to start off with a place I've never heard of, and it is called Yorktown Memorial Hospital. And the reason why this one kind of intrigued me is because, it's hospital, and hospitals, I'm sorry, are just damn creepy to begin with when they are old and ran down. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you have so many horror movies that have that as a setting, or video games that have that as a setting, because that's damn creepy. And you're lying if you don't sit back and say that it is, because I honestly would sit back and say, yeah, that's pretty damn creepy. But apparently, with this memorial hospital, the Yorktown Memorial Hospital in Yorktown, Texas, it used to be a Roman Catholic church, and then it became a drug rehab place. But they say that there are ghosts that run around throughout there. There's been a black specter with red eyes apparently seen, and they say that if you go in there, if you're a man with tattoos and go to the second floor, you're said to have been, you get pushed or get scratched by the nuns that reside there. And this place, which is actually pretty neat, in my opinion, actually does tours. So, like, you pay, like, so much money, go do a tour, and you can actually go around for, like, however long the tour is. But they also do, like, overnight investigations and stuff like that, too. So I always thought it was kind of neat that some of these haunted places do that kind of stuff. But I had never heard of this one, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting and wanted to share about that one at least. But, like me, myself, I live in Texas, and kind of the general area is the Dallas-Fort Worth area is where I live at. And you hear about tons of places here within this area that have hauntings. Like, I'm not super super far away from Six Flags Over Texas. I mean, everybody here in America knows about Six Flags, but Six Flags Over Texas was like one of the, like, I want to say it was the original amusement park. But I mean, there's reports of a little ghost over there in Six Flags named Annie, and that she had a house over there by one of the rides, and that workers that are there have seen her turn off on lights and seen her running around and all that kind of stuff. And then you have like the story of La Llorona. Now, I know there's like a movie out there about that, and I don't, honestly, I never watched that movie simply because it didn't look like that good cheesy B flick, but it didn't look like it was going to be good. I just never took the chance to actually watch that one because if I remember right, it's the girl who played Velma in the Scooby-Doo movie that is like the main character, and I'm sorry, I just can't see her anything other than Velma. So it makes it kind of hard to make that believable for me. But La Llorona is one of those ones that is a very prominent figure here as far as being somebody who haunts this kind of area and everything like that. Donkey Lady Bridge in San Antonio, if I remember right, as where supposedly she kind of roams around and stuff like that. But that's a bit further from where I'm at, getting back into like the DFW area. We have a park that I would go frequent quite often when I was younger, and it's River Legacy Park. And there was actually like 2 different places, and I remember reading about these places like in the infant age of the internet. Yes, because I'm old, or at least somewhat old. But River Legacy Park, there was a couple places. There was one called the Screaming Bridge, and the other one called Hell's Gate. Now, Hell's Gate was one of those ones I never, ever really got to go find. And with the Screaming Bridge, they tell you that you have to go visit that at night. And I never got to stay there late enough, really, to actually kind of check that place out. Because apparently there was like a car accident that happened on the Screaming Bridge, and everybody died. And supposedly you could like see lights on the bridge and stuff like that. Now, you can't like drive over to that area anymore. You have to walk to get to it. But supposedly you're still supposed to be able to see some of the stuff that's over there. Now, Hell's Gate was one of the other ones where it's like the name of it is kind of misleading in a way, but at the same time it makes sense in that kind of way too, because apparently it's from the Civil War, and that would actually be where they would actually take people to go and hang them. And that was like the gate that they used to walk through. You'd see like a couple fence posts and you would go over there, but you would actually see like Confederate soldiers out there guarding the area, or you'd hear screams and sobs and stuff like that supposedly in that area too. And that was like one of those ones where I never got the chance to be able to actually go check some of that stuff out. Now, we could also go into like the old Ripley's Believe It or Not over in Grand Prairie, which is in the DFW area, which that place actually like burned down at one point. And I remember visiting that when I was a kid, and just how freaky that place was just as a kid. And I remember I got to visit that place before it burned down, and then of course got to visit it afterwards. But apparently there was it was burned by an arsonist, and then if I remember right, one of the people over there was poisoned, and one of the other workers there had like died of natural causes, like mysteriously. I mean, they were like young. They weren't like an older person to have died from natural causes. They were actually a young person that died of natural causes. So it's like a lot of people have reported seeing stuff over there, from either hearing noises that don't seem like they're supposed to be there, and to like seeing people kind of dart off here and there throughout the place as well. Now, also like within the DFW area, and I know a lot of people probably heard about this one too, is the Baker Hotel over in Mineral Wells. If you have not heard about Mineral Wells, they were famous for like their mineral water, hence Mineral Wells, and it was a healing water and stuff like that. But apparently the Baker Hotel over there that has been shut down for a long time. There's a lot of ghost sightings over there, and if I remember right, there's some tours that actually go on for that place too. And then of course you have in Waxahachie the Catfish Plantation. Now, that was one of those places, again, I've never gotten to go, but I know people who have gotten to go, and I know people who have gone over there and never seen anything, but I know people who have gone over there and like, oh no, the frickin' curtains blew open or dishes were moved. But they actually had like a book. I don't know if they still have it, but they actually had a book where if you saw like some kind of a sighting, you could write down in the book, hey, saw such and such, blah, 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 type of thing. And I always thought that was kind of neat. So, anyway, I'm dragging on. We're getting to our, late time in this little episode. And I know I'm just kind of go this time around. But I really find haunted places kind of interesting. And I'm really kind of curious, have any of you guys ever taken the time to go visit any haunted places? Have you been to a haunted B&B or gone like a haunted tour or anything like that? And, if so, did you experience anything whenever you went to go visit those places? I'm really curious about that kind of stuff because I love hearing these kind of stories from people. What did you see? Did you experience something? Did you see something that is not normally seen by people? Or did you see like the normal stuff that people actually see? Or was it just, no, this place is definitely not haunted, or you never got that kind of vibe, no cold spots or anything like that. So if you're listening to this and you've made it this far, I want to thank you very, very much for getting all the way to here. If you're checking this out on YouTube, of course, leave a comment down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. If you're listening to this on Spotify or any of the other podcast places, give me a good review if you like the episode. If you don't, leave whatever review it is that you want to leave. But be sure to follow and everything, because I'll be pumping out episodes every single week, just like I do every Saturday. They pop out at 10 o'clock Central Time. And, of course, I'm on Twitter, @HorrorFTH. I don't really post that much on there, but it's still there. And then, of course, over on Reddit, where I just now opened up the Horror from the Heart subreddit. So if you want to go over there, it's, Reddit r/Horror from the Heart. And we can talk about spooky stuff over there, try to make some posts over there and talk about certain things, or at least start discussions and stuff. So, again, thank you very much for making it all the way to here. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode.